We on, bro? Okay, here we come.
Don't mind us. We're just over here vibing out, listening to some good music.
No question. Welcome everybody
Yes,
to the
sir.
Underway Podcast. I am Michael, the Voice Hicks. I had to do it before he did it. So nonetheless, my my man, you up next, brother.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, good afternoon, because we realize that when we share these videos, you could be listening at any time. But I am your co-host, Donald Anderson, aka Don D, aka Chunky A, aka please subscribe, like, and share on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you for tuning in to the Underway Podcast.
Absolutely, Don. I meant to ask you: is there a way we can put a subscribe button on our page on our channel?
Absolutely. You know what? That's a good good
Right on the screen, because I've seen a million joints and they got them, bang, subscribe. I'm like, yo, we need to, yell
mhm.
that out too. So yeah, if we could, look into that, that'd be dope.
It's one of those things, Mike. Whereas when we get a producer out there, that's one of the things that I'm kind of figuring out this whole technology thing. You know what I mean?
I can dig
But
it.
when I
Yeah,
figure out how to do that, I'm gonna get right on that because I've seen it too. Whereas you'll see the word subscribe right on the screen, even have a little finger pointing to it, uh,
absolutely. Yeah, a
as
little
well as the
cursor,
bell for
cursor
those that are
finger.
on YouTube. And when you want to hear us right away when we drop, you can actually hit the bell that's on your YouTube screen, and you'll literally see our video as soon as we upload it. You'll be the first ones to get it. So if you like our show and you really want to listen right away, uh, hit that bell. In the future, I'm gonna figure out a way to put a bell on that screen so that you guys can see it. So I'm gonna work on my technical skills.
All right. Well, that's cool, bro. Got to crawl before we walk. You know what I mean? We're a different generation when it comes to this technology. We
Oh
we
yeah,
really got to sit down and really study this thing. We can't just we're not born into it like the younger folks. So it's all good.
absolutely. I'll tell you what. I bet you your daughter or my daughter could probably figure it out within a half
Oh,
hour. I
easily,
know they could.
easily, easily. Again, born into it, bro. They hit the planet hardwired into the grid. We didn't. We had to crawl onto the grid. You know, what I'm saying? So that's how it goes.
Mike,
Absolutely. I can.
Mike, think about what we was on when we was in school. You know what I mean? Like I think when we were in school it was like a black screen with green letters.
Oh, you talking about
That's what I
computers?
had anyway when
Oh,
I was in school. My
absolutely. Yeah,
computer.
you talking about the computers? Absolutely. Black screen, floppy disk joints. Yeah, no doubt about it. And then they made a big deal our senior year because we had computer science as one of our classes. And it was like, hey, no more floppy disk. We're going hard drives. I'm just like, and what does any of this mean, man? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what you was talking about, man. Floppy, whatever, man. So yeah, you're right. Those, yeah, dude. Like Pong screens. That was the only video game. Pong
Oh
green
yeah,
joint.
yeah.
Yeah, black screen with green or white. Yeah, man, same thing. Wow,
Had the
wow.
old school
Way to
Atari
age us,
joint.
bro. Yeah, it's yeah. What the football players look like Martians. Everything looks like a Martian on Atari. No matter what it is, man. A dragon, a knight, a cowboy. They all look like Martians. Football players, the whole shot.
And it's funny as you say that. I was thinking you were saying Pong. That was one, and I don't know if you remember Combat. Remember that joint?
Yeah, well, like it used to like break the bricks or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like yeah, bouncing, but just take chunks out of the joint until it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I do remember that vaguely, but I do remember that. Yeah, wow.
Okay, so I went blank, but then I was thinking in my mind, okay, what is Pong? Pong was where you had these two things. So y'all can see my hands, and I think there was a ball, and you'd be like banging it right, and you had to somebody would
It's
hit
like
it.
it was
You had to.
tennis base or ping pong, video ping pong, basically what it was. So
Uh,
yeah, Pong. Yeah, because you had matter of fact, when joysticks, it was dials to make
oh
make the
yeah,
joint go up and down the screen. It was dials. I don't even know what kind of unit that was, dude. Now I think about it, but yeah, you say have dials on it. One person be one dial, other one, and y'all be just turning them up, doop doop, go up and down until it hit the ball or whatever it is it was doing. Bugged out, y'all. I know it sounds like we speaking a whole foreign language to some of the young.
The old heads know what we're talking about. They everybody,
Yeah,
all the old heads 50 and up, y'all are shaking your heads and like, yep, I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. Preach, preach. Yeah, they
Yeah,
doing that. Right, right. I
exactly.
got you.
So we say all that to say, long story short, we're gonna figure out this technology thing. We're gonna figure out how to put the subscribe thing there and the bell. But in the meantime,
Right.
hit subscribe and
Yeah,
hit the
manually. Y'all do it manually in the meantime.
yes. Thank you, my brother. Thank
Do
you.
it old school shit manually.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah, subscribe manually. We would greatly appreciate it. It don't matter.
And we also want to thank our new subscribers to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Keep pushing our numbers up. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You know, we see
Absolutely.
you.
It
We
was
see your
dope to see that
comments.
number just go up a bit. You know, like I said, we talk this is a marathon, ain't a sprint. So, and nevertheless, whenever we see 1 to 5 new subscribers, it may be a day or two out. We don't care. It's a wonderful thing. It is slowly getting out there. And you know, once we get this thing down, we're gonna be on billboards and all kind of stuff. Then
Absolutely.
then everybody can't resist at that point.
And also, I don't know, Mike, if you had a chance to see our fellow Navy brother T. Ed. Did you see what he shared on the Polo site?
Oh my goodness, man. What his niece,
Oh man.
oh my goodness, uh my co-host and I have some legal work we need to get done.
Okay.
Well, absolutely, because there was a prototype per se, uh for some merchandise for this show, the Underway Podcast. And we saw it today and it was phenomenal, and first and foremost, it's a family thing.
Hmm.
My cousin was the one, my cousin Idris was the one who came up with the design for our podcast. So when our shipmate T Ed out of what he out of Dayton? No, what
Toledo.
is Toledo? Yeah, I'm sorry, Toledo. Yeah, why would I say Dayton? But anyway, yeah, Toledo, Ohio. Yeah, why would I say that?
All them
But yeah,
Ohio cities are the same.
yeah, well, no, we ain't gonna get
I'm,
into all
I'm
that.
just
But anyway,
playing, man.
yeah, I ain't about to mess with that. They right next door. They can come see me. So yeah, the merchandise the possible merchandise
Hmm.
from what this young lady and her uncle created or collabed on, we got to get we got to get our legal stuff together
Hmm.
because it can be major. We really got to get our legal thing together, and we're not gonna say no more. I'm not gonna say no more than that, Don.
Yeah, yeah. But just know it's coming. As Deion Sanders was saying when he went to Colorado, we coming.
I'm bringing my Louis.
We coming.
Yeah, I got luggage. I got luggage
Yeah,
with me, and it's Louis.
that's right. Get in the transfer portal and get on over here and listen to the Underway podcast.
There you
All
go.
right, partner. Like we do every week, go ahead and kick us off and tell us how your weekend went. I know that you are involved with your housing search, you and your lovely wife. So how's that been going?
Oh, not bad, man. We did see a property Sunday. Yeah, yesterday. That we both mutually really, really dug. And you know how that is, man.
Hmm.
Married men. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
All right. So we know how it is. Much love for y'all ladies, but we have such different taste as genders. Sometimes we don't always, agree on what have you. But anyway, we saw this property yesterday, right along the lines of what we want. Uh, Neighborhood looked solid, a lot of manicured lawns and things of that nature. One across the street looked like it could use a cut, but you can't read too far into things. But in any event, a lot of updates. Yeah, man, it was a really really nice house. Basement isn't finished; it was semi-finished, but my imagination ran wild in there. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's up,
So
man.
that's probably gonna be one of the projects that some money gets spent on. You know what I mean? Just to make that extra room and have me have my space again. You did.
That's
But
what's
anyway,
up.
yeah, we're going through the legal situations right now. All good, but like I said, the contract. Just received an email, excuse me, from our realtor for a contract for that property. So my wife and I are going to sign tonight. Just so we're able to put our bid in. And compete.
Well, that's what's up, man. Good luck to you, and good luck to both of you all. And we'll be hoping that everything does what it does. But like we always say, you'll be where you're meant to be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. If it's meant for us, it's meant for us. If not, keep rolling.
that's exactly right, man.
No doubt.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No
And so,
doubt.
what else did you do? We were talking a little bit about some jazz and whatnot.
Ah, yes. Oh, yeah, it was a very cool weekend. As you know, as we mentioned before, this is Princess's last week before heading off to college. You know, she'll be going to Fredonia State University of New York at Fredonia. Thursday is moving in day.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, that's something, man.
How
So
you
Thursday's
feeling?
moving in day. Dude, I'm good only because we have friends. I have people that I grew up with who went to Fredonia, and they were home every weekend.
Hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
with it being an hour away, that's a ride you can make home. You can make that ride home every weekend if you choose.
Hmm.
But we told her to if you got some real heavy stuff to do, test and all that, we'll understand. Just stay on campus. We don't have a problem with that. We got to have you handle your business first and foremost. But if it's a light schedule, man, we love to see you Friday evening. Every Friday
Right.
evening if we could. But we're also going through that phase now, and you know about that when they outside. They really ain't trying to mess with mom and dad. They
Yep.
outside, man. You know what I'm saying? And you don't take it personal, but it's hard not to.
Yeah. Yeah. I listen. I take it personal.
Yeah, I
I
can
take
dig
it
it,
very
man.
personal.
Yeah, so it's hard not to take personal, especially when you got the dynamic, the way nature intended it, the son and the mom. If they're tight, they watch movies together, this and that. Man, when he starts to grow and grow up, that hurts mom. You
Mhm.
know, not in a bad way, but it's a my baby's growing up way. And same thing with dads and their daughters, especially the daughters, them tough daughters that like scary movies, stuff like that, stuff they'll do with dad. Man, when she stopped doing that, it's tough.
It is, man.
It's tough, man.
It's tough.
Oh, this thing ain't for punks, man. Parenting, marriage, and life ain't for punks.
It really isn't. And it's funny. I remember when that all happened. For me anyway. From
Right.
from my kids, they was good up until fifth grade. But man,
Mm.
soon as they got to middle school, middle fifth grade, they was cool. They wanted you to hang out with. They was all good. It was like, yeah,
Right.
what we
Right.
doing tonight, Dad? Friday
Right.
night
Dad
fun.
cooler than a mug.
Yeah, man. Listen,
Right.
they got the sixth grade, middle school. Forget what you know.
Over.
Over, man. That stuff be hurting too. I ain't gonna lie.
It does hurt, dude,
It
because
does
it's
hurt.
routine, dude. You look to,
Yeah.
when we work all week, man, there are things that we look to when we get to our home, our safe haven that we crave, man. So the work week is long, man, and your wife gets off before you, or maybe she's home before you. Hey, baby, what you want to eat? That's awesome, right? That's
Mhm.
awesome. So y'all sit down as a family, eat. The wife she hangs for a little while, but say, baby, I'm going to bed. And then it's just you and the kids. What we watching? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
All three of y'all, popcorn, whatever it is, sodas, watching that movie. And you like, man, this is as cool as this thing gets, man.
Right.
And then, like you said, they get interest. And it's like, yo, what you doing tonight? Like you want to watch a movie? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like an ugly chick or something. No
Yeah.
offense to no offense to the ladies. But like I'm getting stood up for the prom or something. Like I'm
Yeah.
unattractive. I don't understand that. It hurts.
It does hurt, man. It's just one of them things. You sitting there on a Friday night by well, I ain't gonna say by yourself because you got your spouse with you. So we don't
Of
want
course.
to. We're not minimizing our spouses, but we just saying we was
But it's different.
yeah, three was company, and now it's just just like who's singing Bill Withers, just the two of us now.
Yeah,
So
just the two of us.
yeah, we gonna make it if we try. Exactly.
If we try.
Yeah. And let this be a word of advice for married couples out there. Kids ain't always gonna be there. So if y'all got kids, get ready for that empty house moment. What I mean, that's when you find out how well you and your spouse love each other. Which we know you do. But I'm just telling you.
This
I
definitely
mean,
tested because
yeah,
children are a buffer. You
yep,
know what I mean? They're a buffer, man. You don't have to necessarily do things with your spouse when you have kids.
yeah, exactly.
They're a buffer. Hey, baby, I want to. Hey, I got to run so and so to that thing tonight. I mean, and Dad's got to be there.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what kids are, man. They're buffers, and then when that buffer leaves, that person, like you said, that you love, but haven't maybe been loving on, now it gets real again.
Yeah. And what you'll find out is like when I with my daughter, I tell her all the time, okay, now when you come home, you make time for home. All right. I know that you're an adult and you're doing the college thing,
And
but
you
listen,
outside, right?
hey, you outside, we outside. But listen, act like you know who we are, please. You know what I mean?
Right,
Act
right.
like you know who we are. That's all we saying. That's all we saying. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but shout out to the princess, man, your daughter, and God bless her as she begins that journey, man. Bless you in Kenya, man, because hey, we
Thank
know,
you. Thank you, brother.
it,
Thank
it's
you.
uh it's something, man. My daughter's been going since what 2020,
Hmm.
on her own. She used to come home during the summer, and now she got a spot where she only come home in the summer no more. So, hey,
Oh man, dude, you're killing me
yeah.
over here.
Oh yeah,
You
they
are
just stay
killing me,
out, man.
man.
Oh man, once they get that off campus house, and just forget about it.
They outside. They gone.
Yeah,
It's
they are.
over.
You may see them once, on the weekend. It depends.
Right, right. And that's cool enough. I'm good with that.
I'm trying to think what my daughter be doing to us. What she does. Like she'll text us. She's like, "Oh, mom, dad, I'll be over tomorrow. Such and such and such. We can go do this." And you better respond within 20 minutes, okay? Because if
You
you
done
don't,
lost your spot. You done
you
lost your
done
spot.
lost your spot. I respond back like a half hour later. Okay, yeah, babe. Honey, what time you
Bet,
coming up?
bet.
Oh, never mind. We going to the amusement park, Dad.
Ooh, no,
Oh,
you
okay.
got to respond immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
I got you.
it's crazy. Just respond. And so I'm just letting you know. Turn
Thank you,
that
brother.
bell up so you can when baby girl texts you, respond, or else you ain't gonna be able to hang out. So that's just how they do you, man. Your friends, everything, man.
Ooh,
It's
wee.
crazy. You know what I mean?
It's a
And
cold game, brother.
it's cool, but it's funny. Like for us, we was all the way across the country. When we was young like that. So
But it
uh,
was a little different.
yeah.
Like for me,
Hmm.
it was this is what I really need to be doing. So it was
Hmm.
like the minute I graduated from high school, I was no longer a child.
Hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? But
What
for
you
some
mean?
reason, I mean, I
What
was
you
no
mean?
longer a child. What I mean is me and my mother, or my mother and I, however you want to say it,
Hmm.
we mutually agreed that I needed to move on.
Okay.
My mother never said that. You understand what I'm saying? But I felt that, and she never, like I said, verbally said that. But you get the vibe.
Hmm.
I had outgrown my home. So since you're too grown for this joint, you need to be out on your own. So she never said that. But then again, like I said, you know the vibe, man.
Oh yeah.
You ain't got it's nonverbal. Some of this communication that we deal with. But in hindsight,
Just be- Mom was
best
throwing
thing that ever
hints.
happened. Man, but
Throwing
but
hints.
mom was right.
Right.
But
No
mom
doubt.
was right.
No doubt.
You dig? Mom was
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So, and like the jazz festival you're talking about, I'm there with my wife and mom.
Hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? So that was 1985 that she put the pressure on her brother. And then, like I said, if you take a lump of coal and you put pressure on it, what you bring out of it? What does it become?
Come diamonds.
There you go. So she put the squeeze on her brother, that lump of coal, and then down the line, she getting driven to a jazz festival, kicking it with her son and his wife.
Beautiful.
Mama did her job. You dig what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Great parents do their job without us knowing it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Hmm.
one day our children will return as adults, and they'll be saying the same thing prayerfully about us. So
Absolutely.
that's what's
Absolutely.
up, man. So
So
on
that's
my
why I
end,
said that versus college, because they're still our dependents, whether we
yeah.
like it or not.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Different ball game. You college, you still come. We didn't come home to eat in the Navy.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't come home to do laundry in the Navy.
It's funny you say that because just like last week, I was up at my
Yeah,
dad's house and his wife had made some banging spaghetti. I said,
right.
"Man, I can't wait to get on this joint after I get off work. I'm about to tear this spaghetti up." I said, "I'm about to hurt it." I said, "Honey, where the spaghetti at?" Oh, Athena came and she ate that. I said, "Why you let that
Oh,
spaghetti? Why you let her eat my food up like that?" Then she gonna make me feel bad, like I don't have a right to ask why you eating my
Like,
food up. I said, that's
that's
okay.
your daughter. You
Yeah,
can't let her. No, I had my mind and mouth fixed on that.
exactly. I told her I'm about to text her. She said, don't you dare text her. I didn't
That's
text her.
awesome. Right,
But
I got
Fina, I know you watched. That was my spaghetti. You know better.
you. Ooh, nothing hurts more, man. Nothing
Nah,
hurts
she
more.
she just get me back because every time when she would go out and she would bring something back from the Cheesecake Factory, whatever, she would go out with her
Don't
girls.
tell me you would. Don't tell me you would get at
Oh,
it, man.
I give her a 2-day rule. I told you, you got 2 days for that food to either. I said, listen, you didn't even want that food. Stop playing.
Right.
You're gonna come to me 3 days later talking about, Dad, where this and that. I said, what do you mean, where's it at? It's in my stomach. That's where
What
it's
you
at.
talking about? It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Right.
So she just, goes around, comes around. It's all good. I'm not even mad about it. But
No, it's
that's
awesome.
basically wasn't nothing popping off my way this weekend. Golly, I don't think I did much of anything. I'm trying to think, what did I do?
Hmm.
I'm sorry. You know what they say, dead air on the live show is not a good
Yeah, we
thing.
can't go with
So
that. So let me dig into the jazz festival a little bit.
yeah, go ahead.
That cool. Um, the Pine Grill Jazz Festival. It's an annual thing that's held at Martin Luther King Park every summer. In early August. Like this. And the Pine Grill, like I said, was once a very famous jazz club here in Buffalo, New York. All the big names came through. Like they went through Philly and New York and Chicago and all. They came from Buffalo. Buffalo was a city that had some good black money. We'd all those blue collar jobs. You know what I mean? So they used to frequent here and another club called the Little Harlem on Michigan Avenue.
Hmm.
So, um, so the place is long since closed, of course, and some organizers in the city had thought years ago, I want to say 34, 35 years ago, they started this to have a reunion based on the Pine Grill. You know what I mean? So my mother and my generation's parents were just getting in there, because like at 18, you could get in places when you're 18 back then. So they
Hmm.
were just frequenting that spot. But their parents, my grandparents, and some people's great grandparents were always at the Pine Grill because, like I said, Dizzy came through there, Louis, Miles, Coltrane, you know what I mean? Just the legends came through there. So that was the spot. So with this reunion, you bring out, like I told you before, we're the babies. Our generation, we're literally the babies of that festival. You understand? Because we're talking 60s, 70s. God bless them. Some 80-year-olds show up at this thing.
Wow.
Right. So with that age range, Don, why do you think it's such a peaceful success every year? No incidents whatsoever. With those age ranges I just recited to you, why do you think it's such a peaceful, non-conflict filled event?
Well, because they're grown. They're grown folks. What else would it be? It's grown and grown up folks, grown up vibes, the whole nine. Kind of like when I was
But
at a Winter Park last month.
right, seasoned folks
There you go. Yeah,
who
grown
are
folks.
literally coming out to have a good time in a world full of chaos. But it's such a peaceful thing, Don. You never had a conflict ever up there based on at 56 years old somebody could tell my mother on me.
Hmm.
You know, you know what I'm saying? You can't act up in this joint, man. Not that I would, but this is what I'm saying. But Don, the greatest conflict or argument you'll get at that joint is if Coltrane was better than Miles Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Like OGs debating that over a backgammon table or a domino board or something like that. That's what you got up there, bro. So my
So
wife and I took mom. Wonderful, wonderful time, brother.
well, that's actually a better probably debate than what we had last week. I did get we did get some feedback on our on our little
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
Luther Uncle Charlie thing.
Uh,
That was just something y'all I seen on the internet. I thought that I would bring it to the show.
and you
That
said Tank was the one who,
yes, Tank, the R&B
oh,
artist Tank, was
Tank.
one of the ones that he felt as though that Uncle Charlie
Yeah,
was better. You know,
yeah. Well,
a number of
yeah.
you out there pointed out to me, Don, if Uncle Charlie were better than Luther, then why did you not play him at your wedding? So we're really nothing I can say. You co-signed with Mike over here, so now not
Oh
to say
yeah, yeah. But bruh, luckily I was still. Lucky I was quick on my feet because you almost got it by me. You was like, well, we dancing my wedding for that. I was like, what, you ain't that
Yeah,
gambit?
yeah,
So I had to catch that. You almost got by. You almost got by. So I'm
yeah.
glad
That
the
was
party people were observant and paid attention.
100%, absolutely. But I will say that Miles and Coltrane, hey, that's a nice one though. I mean, I don't, you could either or. They both awesome, both legendary,
Right, right.
incredible.
That there you're talking a closely contested debate.
Yeah,
That's
either
close.
or.
So right. So I'd have no problem with you saying either. But
Yeah.
that one,
Hmm.
nah, that was a little tough. A little tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, speaking of conflict, me and Mike haven't been on since last Sunday, and it's feel like we're probably on the other side of this thing, but I guess the big news or the big thing that was a lot of people were talking about uh all over the country. Seemed like everywhere that you turned on, somebody was talking about the Montgomery boat brawl. And let me just fill people in on what happened. Damian Pickett, the riverboat first mate and co-captain, disembarked, and this all happened in Montgomery, Alabama. Uh,
Hmm.
Damian Pickett, the riverboat, a riverboat captain and first mate, okay, disembarked in order to move a pontoon boat that was illegally docked or illegally parked at a dock. Okay, in
Hmm.
response, according to reports, at least three of the boaters who were illegally parked, and I'm sure everybody out there has seen multiple videos of this, attacked the co-captain. Let me repeat who he was now. He was the co-captain and first mate of this ship, okay, punching him in the face, beating and kicking him. Now, as they were beating and kicking him, my man did a sign that I never saw before. He took the hat off, threw it in the air, and as he did that and they were kicking and punching him, the cavalry did indeed arrive. So the cavalry did indeed arrive. If I'm ever
Yeah.
in such a predicament or situation, I would hope for my listeners out there and watchers, if I throw my hat in the air and give y'all the sign, y'all better come like y'all came for the captain here, because y'all, the people down there in Montgomery, Alabama, I salute you. Way to back your captain up. I don't know if they were his his. I don't know if they were boatswain, they deckhands. I don't know what they were, but whoever they were, it seemed like they were people that he knew, right? Because I mean, I'll be honest with
It
you, I
looked
don't think
like
they
I
could
saw
video something.
some like I think I saw like a similar uniform or two,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. So yeah, you're talking, his crew or colleagues or whoever. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Right, right. So basically, a brawl ensued, and the captain's people came and they handled business, okay, and they took care. And of course, one of the old heads actually had a white fold-up chair, which has somehow become the hot new item on eBay and Amazon, and commenced to
Mm-hmm.
using that as well to clean up the situation. So I want to just say this, and then Mike, I'll give it to you. My,
Hmm.
my thoughts about the incident are: it was a right and a wrong thing. All right, that's the first thing. A lot of people out here, and I understand it's in Montgomery, Alabama. We know about the Montgomery boycott. Back in the day when Dr. King and Rosa Parks led the boycott. We understand that back in the day, 1955. We understand that. So we understand the history in Montgomery, Alabama. We understand that. But at the end of the day, this is about right and wrong. These drunk folks, I'm imagining they were drunk. I'm gonna just say they had to have been drunk because they looked like they was drunk. They was acting drunk. They was acting drunk, and they was acting crazy. Um, eh, you know, and didn't listen to what the captain said. There was a whole riverboat that couldn't pull in. I mean, that'd be like, me and Mike would tell you that'd be like if there was somebody in our ship's space, like to say it was like somebody with a common boat. Believe me, they would get taken care of. They got to get out of there, right? Well, first of all, they wouldn't even been able to be in that part. But
Right.
that's just an aside. We might have to
Right. We
blow the.
just trying to paint the picture here.
Yeah,
That's
we
all.
just painted a picture. We believe me, wouldn't have been no hand. We just blew their asses up. That's what would happen. If you really want to be honest about it, they would have
Be
got blown.
fiberglass everywhere,
Oh yeah,
baby.
they'd have got blown up. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't have been no punching. Wouldn't have been. It wouldn't even been necessary. But anyway,
Right.
this ship didn't have no 16-inch or 5-inch gun to take care of them. So, uh, they took care of the situation. But we've made this huge black and white thing like we do all the time. All right. Listen, it was about a right and the wrong thing. Did them rednecks deserve to get their bonds beat? Of course they did. But the reality, it wouldn't matter who they were. They jumped on the man for no reason. They didn't listen to his orders. He's the captain. If he said you move, you move. And then they didn't want to move, so he moved the boat for him. And then they hit him. And mind you, when he got hit, it wasn't like they hit him like I'm looking at you and I hit you. No, they waited till the old man turned his back and then hit him and jumped on him. Like three guys jumping on him, punching and kicking him. So it was just a right and a wrong thing. I understand that, Black Twitter, I know that a lot of folks celebrated like, it was, 1865 or something. You would have thought Juneteenth was happening again, the way celebrations were taking place. And I'm like, yo, it's crazy what we'll celebrate. Listen, I found the humor in it.
Yeah,
Go
then
ahead,
listen.
bro.
I don't have a yeah. Are you done, bro?
Go ahead, man. Give your take.
No, are you done? No, I'm just saying because I agree
Yeah,
with you.
please.
I
Yeah,
mean
go ahead.
that's going to be one of the points that I'm making. So the problem that I had with it, okay, it was pros and cons of this. Okay, so let me go with the pros, what I didn't have a problem with.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't have a problem with it symbolically at all. You understand what I'm saying? If one of our own was in trouble, you had one brother straight Michael Phelps in it to get over there
Yeah.
to get some of that smoke.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So let me say that number one, symbolically, it did my heart well to see that type of assistance and help and unity. Okay, all right. The cons of it.
Hmm.
Okay, the cons of it. Uh, when the brother, here's where the problem came in, down. If you really think about it,
Hmm.
when the guy hit the lady with the chair, man.
Oh, okay.
That was, first of all, that's uncalled for. Number one, she was already down. Okay. Number two, that's bad business, man. Why would you hit a woman with a folding chair who was up? She was up, dude. She's not in it. You understand what I'm saying? This
Right.
isn't WWE, man. You ran over and hit her with a folding chair. A woman.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You see, so that's where this really, because Don, I'm telling you, if you take that element out of it, dude, this ain't no story. It's really like us going, okay, yeah, well, they broke the law, and then they attacked a person, whose law it was and whose job it was to clear the way for this riverboat. That's his job, to clear the way for this riverboat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially saving your lives. You understand what I'm saying? So they could move along and the boat can come in and everybody's happy. Okay. Again, when Black Twitter or whoever spins it into what it's become, the humorous parts I don't really have a problem with. None of the things that I thought about folding chairs were funny because that's I didn't dig that. I didn't dig the event in which that was that object was involved. So I didn't dig that. I did, like I said, did the symbolic unity. But
Right.
one thing we have to do as a people is quit celebrating degeneracy. We let people off the hook because they're our color. That's bull, because here's the thing. That same black unity that you've seen in that video,
Hmm.
okay? How come we don't group up to get the undesirables and the low down out of our communities,
Yeah, out of our own neighborhoods. Right.
out of our own neighborhoods?
That's right.
Why don't we do that? See, that's where, and this is where I have the con issue, because, like I said, symbolically, it did my heart well. But also, when it comes to our people, man, the people we need heat for, we don't keep heat for.
Hmm.
We co we co-sign degeneracy, man. Who's this female rapper that's so hot now? And she's Suki Hana or whatever her name is, or something like that. There you
Got
go.
me.
But
You got me,
anyway,
brother.
but yeah, I mean, it's these young. I mean, they're just talking so crazy. You know what I mean? And that's not just her. It's all of them. Yeah, let's
Hmm.
understand that. But where is the checking for that? Why do we applaud that stuff, man? Why do we
Yeah.
applaud that? We don't understand how deep our indoctrination and brainwashing is, man, that you accuse a Don or a Mike or whoever who speaks pretty clearly, pretty fluently of trying to talk white. Bro, we
Mhm.
got some of the deepest self-hating, mental problems there are, man. We
Yeah,
do.
definitely, definitely. That's a good
It
point.
saddens me. It saddens me, bro. It saddens me. You talking white. That whole thing right there, Don, just says how much of a job that the powers that be or the spirits or whatever you want to call it have done on you that you think
Hmm. Speaking
that
proper English,
that white
talking
people
white.
are way more intelligent than you. You just gave
Exactly,
in to that to say that.
exactly. Like,
So go ahead,
what
bro.
what are we supposed to be talking like? Doesn't even make any sense. But no, you're right. And I just wanted to say, like, what does our brother Royce White was saying? I want to just read his tweet. He said, "Other than that, fair game. Stop the race war, bull bleep. People get liquor and get brave, get in fights. Somebody usually gets their ass whipped, and that's basically what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Uh,
Right.
let's not turn this into a race war, folks. That's not what this is about. This is about stupid, drunk people who acted dumb and got their behinds whipped justifiably. That's what happened here. So I just think let's recenter ourselves. I understand it happened in a historically segregated and racist place. Even probably today, Alabama seems to be a messed up kind of, from a social standpoint, doesn't seem to be the most advanced or forward thinking state in the union. All we got to do is look at the former boy Tuberville, who's the senator. I mean, you listen to him talk, and it's like, how did he get elected senator? And the crazy,
How is he a Division 1 football coach,
and
man?
he wasn't even no good as a coach. I can see if y'all elected Nick
No.
Saban. If you elected Nick Saban, I'd be like, okay, I can see it. Man, y'all elected some bum. I mean? He out here
Straight,
talking crazy. So
right.
Alabama, let me just say, Alabama, just a PSA from me. I mean, maybe if y'all didn't put forth these idiots in public office,
Yeah.
and maybe if you didn't follow these idiots, these people that probably went down there and thought that they could talk to this captain like that and lay hands on him, you probably thought that you could do that because you're out here following these idiots that are out here causing division and causing the dumb stuff.
Emboldening
Yeah.
you. Yeah, pumping you, gassing you, like we used to say.
Like the fool in
They
Utah. Just talk about the fool in
right.
Utah. Just briefly want to talk about the fool in Utah
Oh, the
who's
one
sitting
that
on,
got
yeah, he's sitting on
yeah.
social media talking about what he's gonna do to the president. He got talking about he got guns and he gonna put, man. The FBI showed up at the man's door and had to wind up killing this guy.
Wound up dead.
Yes, sir. So I mean, y'all out here, you gotta watch this stuff.
Quit
Like
playing out here.
like we said, I don't know what episode it was. Me and Mike talking about y'all are falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You need to
Oh yeah.
stop it. It's a
Oh yeah.
banana in the tailpipe is the race war. All right, that's not what's holding us back. That's not it. All right. We
Mm-mm.
what the illustration is from the Montgomery boat brawl is look what happens when you can come together and be unified. But guess what? What I noticed is that black and white people were unified in what happened and can recognize right from wrong. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's what we should
Yeah,
be
because
focused.
wasn't some white folks like on this, like getting down with the black people against the
Yeah,
other.
absolutely. It's like, come on,
That's what I'm
man.
saying. So right there you go. So that wasn't mentioned.
Right,
That wasn't
exactly.
mentioned. That wasn't mentioned on purpose. That was intentional. But yeah.
But the problem is, Mike, our people fall for that. And the
Oh
reality
yeah.
is, y'all,
Oh
let me just
yeah.
say this, y'all out there, we don't want no race war. We don't want that. I mean, come
No.
on. Nobody wants no race war because the reality is it's not going to benefit us. All right. So
No, we
let's
we
not,
can't win it. We
yeah,
can't win it. We
exactly.
don't we don't we don't produce guns.
Exactly.
We only use
Exactly.
them. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have access to uranium or whatever the hell you need to blow up some shit. We don't
Exactly.
do that. We don't have C4. We don't have the technology. We don't. So it's not going to be. Not that. And let's understand something. If it had to go down, we going down.
Right.
1,000 years from now, they would be like, "Yo, them black folks, man, they wasn't scared."
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But let's understand. Not being scared and being smart are two different things. We can't win that. But how we can win overall as a people
Hmm.
is to take just a smidgen of that get back or I got you back from that video and implement that into your daily life in your community. You understand what I'm saying? If somebody's selling dope, men, you can't depend on the cops to rid your community of what it is. And I'm talking about men. I ain't talking about no vigilante. I ain't talking about no Charles Bronson stuff because that ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
You can't win that. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could not win a crusade against the, element, the bad element in your. You couldn't, not by yourself. But as an army, you could. But you have to have willing and brave soldiers. But that's one thing. But like I said, we need that, Don. If you just give me a smidgen of that, and once we over here doing what we doing, ain't no more talking about race war because we're not entertaining that. We over here we trying to build over here.
Yeah, 100%.
You understand?
Yep.
So that's what's going to happen. If we get together, we need to be talking about building a nation within this nation. Because I'm not going to Africa. I'm not from Africa. I'm from here.
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth. And like I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I did an ancestry thing, and I was able to track my earliest ancestor back to like the 1700s, and it got me to thinking. I remember when I was in school coming up in the 70s, and I might have had some white kids telling me to go back to Africa. I'm like, nigga, I'm not even from Africa. I'm from America. I'm as much from this country as you are. What you mean go back to Africa, man? My people was here before the country even got started. So when people say that, I'm as American as you are. Just because I'm darker than you or I got more melanin than you, that doesn't don't mean that that you're more American than me. And the crazy part is, I don't think that's another thing with us is I believe as us as Black folks, sometimes we don't embrace the heritage of this country. Listen, this is our country. This is where we are.
Period.
For as far back as we are
Period.
American. Simple as
Period.
that. That's who we are. We are Black
Period.
Americans. This is our country. So, we need to make sure and take care of it to the best that we can. That means taking care of our communities. That means taking care of our households. That means taking care of our children, the whole nine. So this idea that, to Mike's point, that we're only going to become unified in a boat brawl is kind of crazy. We need to be
that's what I mean. Right.
unity all the time.
Right. Exactly.
And
it's actually unity against bad. Exactly. It's not unity against white folks, or it's not against folk. It's against principalities, like the Bible speaks of, dude.
Exactly.
We're not battling against flesh. We're battling against principalities. So guess what? We have to fight that spirit that's attacking us. That's what we have to do. So you do that in your spiritual sense of gathering souls that of the same like-minded, situation. So that's how you do that.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll see. We'll see, bro.
So, that's what I think that's how we kind of, looked at that thing, just keep it what it was. Just keep it what it was. Let's not extend it to nothing crazy. It was right and wrong. It was some drunk people that got handled. Simple as that, bro.
And guess what? Had it not been Black folks, you can't tell me on the riverbanks of the South,
right,
that them good old boys won't talk that yang to some other good old boys and wind up getting mopped as well.
Exactly. Right. I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
It probably didn't matter who it was. Them guys was drunk. They was out of hand.
They was gonna talk that stuff. And guess what? Whoever it was, like I said, had there been a bunch of white folks, that boat captain been white, that like, y'all need to move here. We ain't moving a damn place. Listen, it goes down with them too. So it ain't no black and white thing. It goes down with just white folks too, and just Black folks too, and just Asian folks too, and so on and so on and so on. But the brainwashing is to mix us up, and imagery.
That's right.
The danger of imagery.
Exactly.
My brother, go on. Danger of imagery.
No, I think we said, enough about that.
No question.
We were able to offer our thing on that. So, just kind of talking about that, and talking about how it's not about black or white. It's about something that's deeper than that. Leads me to our next subject, and that is about the 2023, I guess, presidential Green Party candidate, Dr. Cornel West. And I don't know, Mike, if you had a chance to take a look. He's been getting interviewed all over the place. He's on Fox News with Laura Ingraham. He's on Stephen A. Smith's show. He's been on The Breakfast Club. So he's getting out there and he's making around. And just FYI to the people out there, I even put an interview request in for the Underway podcast. Dr. West, you are welcome to come on. We'd love to talk to you and hear what your vision is for the country. But I think I've seen enough of what he said to get a general idea. He says,
we still like to have him on, though.
Oh, 100%. You kidding? Definitely. Come on over, Dr. West.
Come on down, man.
Yeah, Cornel, come on over. You say you for the people now. That's what you said.
Right. Yeah.
You say you for the poor folks, for
The
the
size
down.
of man does not matter.
Yes, exactly right. So, Dr. West, don't be out here on these big major corporations and then go act like you can't come on our little podcast. You can come on
Right.
here. You can come on this
Right.
show. I'm
We got
calling
we
down.
got the same technology they got, Doc.
Yeah.
We
Matter
can
of fact,
pipe you in.
I am going to cut this segment out of the podcast. Dr. Cornel West, we are asking you on behalf of the Underway Podcast, please come on the podcast so we can further get an idea of what you have planned if you were to be elected president of the United States.
And then you can talk to the everyman with me and Don. We talking about blue collar everyman American. It'll be here exclusive first. Talking
Yeah,
to the regular folks.
yeah. Well, let me just say this about my man, Dr. West.
Yes.
As far as Dr. West goes, so Dr. West, from what I've gathered, he says that he jumped in because he wants to get in and represent the marginalized in society, the poor people. In other words, he believes that the top percentage of people have been taken care of. We understand that the majority of wealth in this country is made by the top, I guess, 5 to 10% of the people. They make them predominantly most of the money in this country. So that's
Hmm.
all well and good. I've always been a Dr. Cornel West fan. I'll say off the top, I know that he's not going to win the presidency. For me, it's not about him winning the presidency. It's just about getting those ideas out in a debate format. I'd like to see him be on stage with Biden, whoever else is going to be the Republican candidate, whether that's going to be Trump or Captain DeSantis, whoever it is. I want to see that three ring debate. I think we need to see that. We need to hear some different ideas being put out there because we keep getting the Democrat ideas and we get the Republican ideas and they start to sound the same. So we need to hear something different. And I think with Dr. West, I think what he offers the country is a chance to give us a different point of view. And another thing he's about, he wants to end the Ukraine Russia conflict. He wants to not stop giving money to Ukraine, which I 100% agree with. I don't know. I just seen the other day that Biden asked Congress for another $25 billion to give to Ukraine. Think about what I just said. $25 billion more dollars to Ukraine. Are you kidding me? Why in the world? Ukraine's not
Right.
even in NATO. So why in the world are we giving them all this money? What is going on here, people? And I feel like we just walking around like the Walking Dead. We're not even paying attention to this stuff. $25 billion to the Ukraine to fight Russia, and they're not, and we won't even let Ukraine in NATO. So what's really happening here is that, according to Dr. West, they're pushing for World War III, whereas Donald Trump, it seems like his agenda is to push for a civil war, and Dr. West's agenda, excuse me, not Dr. West, but Joe Biden's agenda is to push for World War III. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry. I was getting off on a rant there.
No thing. I too am a Dr. Cornel West fan. I've always been intrigued by intelligent people, and I'm not talking about just word salad, pseudo intelligent people. I'm talking about truly uh, just brilliant people, man. He's always been one of those people for me. I do remember in 1993 he came here. He was a keynote speaker at the University of Buffalo, and I went and checked him out. And what was really cool about him, he had the open forum for the questions, and answer kind of period, right? So he was talking about how when he was in college, uh, Keep Your Head to the Sky by Earth, Wind, and Fire used to really touch his heart because it was talking about, basically black people, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of keeping that faith and things will get better for us. So he goes, and Brother Maurice White sang it so beautifully, and he kept doing his speech. And I'm saying to myself, no, man, Philip Bailey sang that.
Oh
That was
yeah,
Philip Bailey. So I'm, so there you go, right there.
right.
So yeah, so
You had to
I
correct
remember
the
the question,
brother.
dude. I remember the question I asked him. So when they opened the floor for questions, I went up. I said, Doctor West, it's an honor to speak to you, my brother. This and that. He said, yeah, yeah, young brother, blah blah blah. And that. I said, well, I have one question. I said, um, how do we make an influence on our youth for centuries to come without running and jumping and dancing and singing? I said, where do we, really? So he was like, good question, my brother. So he was, he basically broke it down to home and community. These are things that shape our mind. School is just, an additive, but the base is, where we come from. So he goes, that's a great question, brother. I said, oh, and one more thing before I go. He goes, what is it, young brother? I said, keep your head to the sky. I said, the lead was Philip Bailey. It wasn't Maurice White. He goes, I said, Maurice, did I say Maurice? I said, yes, you did. He said, all right, young brother, you got me. You got me. And that was it. So he's very, very cool, not too much of a, you know, a brainiac that the lay person would have offended him. But I thought that was just a cool story with him. But the thing is, I think we have fallen so far as politics goes, that anyone is feels they can throw their hat in the ring and fix things.
Hmm.
You see what I mean? I think we've fallen so far from grace because once upon a time, the society trusted its political leaders. You know what I mean? But when you have people who, everybody who gets in that position is going to be controlled by the banks and the lobbyists and big pharma, and you know what I mean? So how is anyone going to be different? How would anybody else be different? Like I say, he's not going to win. We know that. You know what I mean? But don't you think he should be really trying to concentrate his message on the masses instead of just, you know what I mean? Instead of bothering with that.
What do you mean the masses? What you saying?
What he's talking about, everything he says is on point, right?
Truth and
Why wouldn't
justice.
he? Huh?
No, I'm saying that's his thing. Truth and justice. That's what
Right,
he
and
says
that's
is
cool.
his.
That's cool. So
Hmm.
why even take that to the political arena, man?
Oh, I
If
got
you
what you're
love the
saying.
people, you dig what I'm saying? Don't just take that to the people, man.
Hmm.
Just go on your tour and take that to the people around this country. Just everywhere you can go, just take that and reinforce that, man. You know what I mean? That's what I think he'd be better. I'd be better served to do that because at least that's not corrupt. It won't be corrupted by trying to just teach people who he loves something. Versus you getting that office, bro. You don't you work for someone. You're not the boss. You work
Hmm.
for someone as the president of the United States. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're right. And one of the things that I did hear him say in multiple interviews is that if he's elected president, he wouldn't even move into the White House. Which I have to tell you, we know that's not true because there's no way in the world you're getting elected president and you still think you're gonna live in your old neighborhood, homie. That's not gonna happen, Doctor West.
Right? Sound good, bro.
Yeah, it
Sound
sounds good.
good.
That's one of them campaign promises you ain't keeping. So we don't. I'm
No.
not even gonna hold you to that. Now, as far as what Mike was saying, what you just said, Mike, about as far as like why
Yeah.
not just stay out, and just go on tours and give these lectures. I agree with that, but I think what's happening in our country is that there
Mhm.
is there is a sense that people are not being heard, and I think that's honestly, I think that's why Trump is so popular because I think that Trump speaks for a certain segment of society, and I'm not always talking about poor white folks neither, because there's a number of black folks out there that like Trump
Mhm.
too. There's a segment
Right.
of our people in society that feel like their voice is not being heard, and what the kids call Riz. Am I saying that right? Charisma, but the kids have now called it Riz. Okay, that's a code word for if you have the
Mm.
charisma. It's saying the man got the Riz. If you as a candidate have some sort of charisma, see, that's what's going to do DeSantis in. First of all, he's like 5'10" or whatever he is, 5'8". He ain't gonna win. He ain't gonna be able to stand up there with these taller candidates with his goofy self. So he keep trying to go lower and lower, as Michelle Obama would say. He playing limbo right now. Whatever he can
Okay.
do to reach the lowest margins of voters, that's what he's trying to do. Because he thinks that that's what put Trump in office. I got news for you. That's not what put Donald Trump in office. Donald Trump, on some level, and guess what? Before Donald Trump was the president, there was a lot of black folks that liked him. He was in some of your favorite hip hop artists' rap songs. But
Oh,
he
without
knew how
question.
to get elected, right? Yeah, he knew how to maneuver and get himself elected because he just had a certain charisma about himself. You can't get elected president unless you have a certain amount of charisma. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen for you.
He know how to move, man.
Like
He always he know how to move.
yeah, like Obama. That's what
That's all.
that's how
Obama knew how
Barack
to
got elected.
move, man. He was a
Yeah,
dynamic dude.
exactly.
He was a dynamic dude, man. You know what I mean? So that
Every president
alone.
we've every president we've had, Mike, has some sort of charisma. You go to
Oh,
JFK,
absolutely.
right? You know,
Dude, every one of them. If you go down, let's what you say, JFK, right? Who
Yeah.
was after J? Who was
Ronald
after JFK?
Lyndon B. Johnson, even though he got,
Lyndon B. Johnson, right? And
right.
he was, he had that redneck riz.
Absolutely. That
He
Texas
had that.
thing.
So
Yep.
so that's when the country flipped
Yep.
voting wise. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So yeah, he had that country. So you got Tricky Dick after that, right?
Yep.
You got Richard Nixon.
Yep.
He had that politician riz because he was already a pretty major politician back where he was from and things like that. And he kind of came on the scene and lost that joint to Kennedy initially, but he was going, he was laying in the weeds, so he knew he was going to get his turn.
You know who
So he
didn't
had
have,
that.
and not to interrupt you, but Jimmy Carter
Who?
didn't have the riz. That's why he couldn't get reelected. Jimmy Carter. All right.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you talking about after Tricky Dick? You talking about Gerald
yeah,
Ford, right? Gerald
exactly.
Ford had the Michigan football player riz.
Right.
He was
But
a he was an American dude.
yeah,
You play college football and become president. That's as American as it gets, right?
100%.
There you
But
go.
he
So
he
anyway, yeah.
yeah, he didn't even have enough riz to beat Jimmy Carter. And I like Jimmy Carter. He seemed like he was okay. But then guess what?
Well,
Here
yeah.
come the Gipper.
But another dude with the country riz, man. Jimmy Carter was a hey now, I'm sorry. Guess what?
Good old
America
Georgia
was
boy.
ready. He was ready for some softening up because Gerald
Hmm.
Gerald Ford was a rough and tumble American, so they was
Yeah.
ready for some soft stuff. Then you got the actor. See, he's the dude that really messed politics up, if you
Oh
ask
yeah,
me.
yeah. The Gipper did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Uncle Ronnie messed it up, man. Because like
Hmm.
I said, this is a dude who, and don't get me wrong, governor of California.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, passed some of the fastest legislation in California history when the Black Panther Party marched on the state capitol building. That was like the quickest gun law change ever.
Hmm.
Because by right, in the California Constitution, you could carry a loaded firearm in public. So they exercised their constitutional rights on the steps of and in the chambers of the California State Senate. So immediately, they went to the books and said, yo, we got to omit that. Bang. 2 days later, that was one of the fastest turnarounds of any type of law in the history of this country. So Uncle Ronnie had that. Um,
Iran
once he got
Contra.
in, Iran Contra, once he got in, he was the biggest dope dealer there was.
Yep.
He was slinging them rocks. You know what I'm saying? So
Unbelievable.
Ronnie had that riz, like you said. He had the Hollywood politician riz. He had that. You're right.
And I just want to say that that's one thing that we have said on, not to toot our own horn, but if you notice, that's something we have continued to say. It's like, they're playing three card monte with us.
Mhm.
They're playing the shell game. All right. Whereas if anybody out there has ever been out on the streets and you got these hustlers, they got a little ball and they got three shells. Okay. And what they do is, they let you win the first couple times because they want you to think that you're outsmarting them. But in actuality, they're just suckering you in to get your attention and to get your money. And then
Right.
when you start to think that you're smarter than them, guess what they do? They got you. And they take that thing away. You pick that shell, they lift it up, and guess what's under there? Nothing. Because they had you the whole time. And that's all these politicians are, man. I'm trying to tell you. But it's those ones that can make you think that there's something in there
That they're
are the
not
most
like
successful.
that.
Exactly, bro.
Right.
It's
I'm
crazy,
not.
man.
I'm not like that.
And we keep falling for this thing. It's crazy,
I'm
Mike. It's
not.
crazy, man.
It is. It is. It is. And it's
Reagan was the
infuriating.
worst. You're right. He was horrible. I
Oh
mean, I'm just
man,
saying,
listen, man.
great
Uncle Ronnie
charisma.
was listen. It was great for the already rich.
Yep.
He was phenomenal for the already rich. So if you're talking about people having a bad thing to say about Ronnie, it wasn't the working. The working man couldn't stand him.
Mm-hmm.
The working man hated him. All those plant closures, the shutting down of all these mental health facilities, and people turning to the streets just becoming dope fiends because they don't have the proper medication, not to mention the crack, not to mention the weapons, not to man, listen, it was two
Eric.
terms of two extremes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
like regular American living, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, and there you go. It was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
we can make you artificially rich, downtrodden by throwing this crack in your community. You sell that, you get all the money you want. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, it was a when we look back at it, we were basically in a cocoon, Don. When
Mm-hmm.
you think about it, us growing up in the '80s because we weren't adults in the '80s, we didn't really suffer any of that stuff
Mm-hmm.
per se. You know what I mean? Mentally, we did because we seen some things, but overall, our parents were the ones who were worried about the economy because their jobs may, cut them back or what. You know what I mean? It was a hell of a time to live in,
Yeah, absolutely. Shutting down factories, sending them overseas, and
left
his
and right.
policies made it all possible because what he would do is he would give
NAFTA.
them he would give them all these tax breaks so they could take their daggone companies and send them overseas. Places like Bethlehem Steel, you know what I mean?
Oh man.
Shipping
Yeah,
them
you name it.
overseas. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
you
and
name
plus
it.
he was a union buster too. You
Union
know,
busted. Air
air
traffic
traffic
controllers.
boom.
Shut them down.
Yeah, they went on
Shut
strike.
them
He
down.
fired them. You know what I
Fired them.
mean?
Shut them down. They
Yeah,
said,
that's
yeah,
a
now you come on in here, scabs. And then that
yep.
opened the wound in the union, man. As a whole, it opened the hole in the leg of the union. For everybody's union. It was over with. Because once it was busted, you know what I mean? The
Mhm.
leak it was over with. It sprung a leak, and so it's over with now. It's over.
So then George Bush the first gets in office. He does okay, but guess what? He don't have. He don't have no riz either. In other words, he don't have no. There's no appeal to this man. So that's why Slick Willie, Bill Clinton from Little Rock, Arkansas, wherever he's from, was able to
Yeah.
come in there because
Little
old
Rock.
Slick Willie gets on Arsenio Hall's show with his saxophone, sits in with the band, and all of a sudden, black folks is like, people are like, "Oh yeah, Bill Clinton, we gonna elect him president."
What?
2 terms. Because he had some charisma. This man had enough charisma that he up here taking out interns in the White House. All right. I mean, just craziness. You know what I mean? That's
Now,
evident how
why do we fall for the light fodder, man? Why do we fall for that,
it's
man?
crazy. We do it over and over again, man. It's just insane.
Why do we do that, man? I
Yep.
mean, and I don't think our people realize, man, that white folks who do that are patronizing us, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're going, all I got to do is moonwalk,
Yep.
or what, and if they do that and they want something from you, it seems as if gestures are enough for us to believe them rather than anything substantial. You know what I mean? We
Mm-hmm.
don't see anything substantially, but that's okay. He made my eyes happy. He can sing real good. He
Right.
can dance real good. She got a big old fat behind for a white girl. Dude, we go for the dumbest stuff.
Right. It's
Nothing of
insane.
substance ever, dude. Ever.
Never. For a presidential, and so fell into that trap. And then after, of course, we move right on. Just trying to show you all out there how this thing works. The next guy we get after Bill, well, Al Gore, right? Al Gore had no shot, or at least when you don't believe that he did, but there were probably some miscounted votes. But Al didn't have a lot of riz either. Let's be honest. But that's why that
Nope.
election was so close, and W was able to, beat him because he had that old
Right.
Texas
And he
cowboy
had the
thing.
name recognition. It was a
Had the
rap.
name recognition, right? But he
Right.
had a little more personality than Al Gore did. Al Gore was a little
But
stiff.
you know what? He was
He was a little stiff.
Bush
Come
was
on,
Bush was more Forrest Gumpish.
absolutely, just old down home folksy dude.
Yeah, just and seemed a little slow.
He a
You
little
understand? Don't
slow.
get me wrong. Yo, no shade to Dub,
Hmm.
but he seems slow. And
Right.
America likes simple. America likes simple.
And what actually helped him out was his VP Dick Cheney, who was basically the
Cheney.
brains of that operation. All right, and those 2 wars. Let's be honest. The war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people
Did they
don't love.
find the
It,
did they
it,
find the weapons?
Still haven't found those weapons of mass destruction, and it took them forever to get to what's his name, Osama bin Laden. So it is what it is. All right, but once again, what kept Bush in office, what kept him at a popular rate, gave him the charisma, was that people saw him as somebody that was able to look presidential and talk presidential in the middle of an international conflict like the wars in Iraq and the wars in Afghanistan. So,
Hmm.
and then
So
obviously,
everything you're saying is just aesthetics, right?
yeah, it's just that. That's all it
That's
is.
how they win it. That's how they pretty much win office is aesthetics, right? What people see,
Absolutely.
not what they offer,
Yeah.
not any solutions they offer, but we're
Mhm.
talking aesthetics here.
That's all it comes down to. So,
Okay.
and what I'm saying is, I like what Dr. West is saying, just to wrap it all up on this part of it. From my
Mhm.
perspective, is I'm just glad, and hopefully some of those ideas that he has, we can get that more out into the mainstream, and let's see what happens when people start to hear a different thought process out here. If we don't hear nothing else, I mean, we know we ain't gonna win, but at least we can get some different thoughts going on out there instead of the same fake promises that we've been getting from the other two parties. You know, this country
That's what I'm
needs
saying,
a
man.
third
That's
party.
what I'm saying.
We need a third, maybe a third
Yeah.
and a fourth party. If we're gonna be honest
I
about it.
agree. Right. Because one of the things they were talking about was him splintering the votes or,
Exactly.
cutting the votes for. Listen, man, you know what I mean? I understand it. Believe me, it happened to me in an election. I know how that works. But nonetheless, like you said, it's in the message, man. If you grab the people's, it's like a song. If a song grabs your attention in the first 5 seconds, that's probably a hit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, whatever message you're putting out, man, it'll grab people if it's meant to grab people and to hold on to them. So we'll see, man. I mean, like I said, I wish him the best, man. I just love hearing the brother talk. But like I said, hypothetically speaking, right? I mean, excuse me, Don. If he won, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Handcuffed, dude. Dude,
Oh yeah, because
nobody.
Congress.
You're done.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, man. So it really doesn't matter. We're talking about
Not
woulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, or whatever.
not only that, being handcuffed, Mike. It's not even so much Congress that handcuffs you nowadays. And we give the Republicans credit for this. They were smart enough to realize that the true power in this country is in the courts. So now
Oh,
what happens
absolutely.
is
So they
if the
loaded them
Democrat
with their people, man.
loaded them up with their people on the Supreme
Yeah,
Court. So what happened?
right.
You want to talk about student forgiveness? Okay, well,
Man,
what
I'm
we're going to
turning
do is
down everything.
we'll have some justice in, in the middle of nowhere say, no, 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 no. We're going to fight that. So
Yeah,
then
we
that's
shutting
got
everything down.
and then
Right.
it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court's going to rule against it. That's what they did to,
Bang, bang, bang.
all the major issues. Roe versus Wade
Absolutely.
for years they couldn't overturn that. Finally, they did because they loaded the courts up.
Got a Republican House, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's on Biden anyway. Joe Biden. I mean, listen, when he had a chance to get Clarence Thomas out of there when he was getting nominated, when the Anita Hill thing came up. I mean, it wasn't just Anita Hill that was accusing him of sexual harassment. There was like three other ladies. But
Hmm.
they saw how Anita Hill was treated, and they basically were like, "Nah, we don't
They
want.
said, nah,
Yeah, we ain't going through
nah,
that.
they ain't gonna
Yeah,
treat us no different just because she black. No, we gonna get it. We gonna get waxed too. So never mind. We good.
yeah, yeah. We don't want no part of that." So,
None of that. It's rap.
there we are, man. So,
I got you.
our next thing is, and this is how we'll finish up here. Our this is
And
the
yeah, and this is, dude, this is yo, I looked at this and I'm just like, really?
what happened?
Really? We gotta do this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
Go ahead and
it's
explain to the
crazy.
party people, man.
Oh no. This is a good way for us to end the show.
But
Our
it's
last
it's a
topic
trip,
is
dude.
this is the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Hip hop, hip hop music was started in 1973, and this past weekend they had a huge hip hop concert honoring the 50th year of hip hop at Yankee Stadium. You had a
Yeah.
lot of old school people out there: Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Nas,
Dude, they said
little.
that joint was over 8 hours long, dude.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. I watched some of it. I had to turn it off. I was like, man, I'm out. But some of it was good. I came back and watched who I wanted to watch.
Hmm.
So yeah, So for me, uh, I grew up in the era. Well, we both did. We both. I feel like we grew up in like the what's the word? The golden era of hip hop.
Oh, no
That's why.
question about it. No
That's
question
why.
about it.
That's why we. I think I can speak for both of us. At least for me. That's why to me it's hard to listen to hip hop today, based upon the type of hip hop that we grew up listening
That's
to.
precisely why it's
It's
so
just hard,
difficult.
man. It's just
It's
not. It's
precisely why.
yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah. It's
Where is
crazy.
the right? Where's the art form, dude? Where's the art form? Where's the
Like
poetry?
think about the song "The Message." This was one of our most popular hip hop songs back in the day. That song today still knocks. It still bumps. It's still relevant. It's still true.
Dude, nothing changed. Nothing changed, dude. That was revolutionary. You know what I mean?
Revolutionary.
Yeah, because it actually changed the direction of rap. Because rap up to that point was, it was boasting.
Hmm.
How many cars you got, this, and that, party time, I rock the mic, the boom, boom, boom. Once the message came out, then the messages started coming out in hip hop. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So transformative. So there's only so many seminal moments in hip hop now that the actual culture or the culture of the music. I hate using that culture. I really do. I retract that. The vibe of the music
Hmm.
had it's turned on its axis by one event, one record, one trend. You see what I'm saying? So for us to live during a time where we saw seminal moments in hip hop is incredible when you think about it.
Absolutely.
But who
Absolutely.
turned it to where it is now, though, Don?
Who made it the way it is now? I mean,
Yeah, who turned it the way it is now?
I would say, I just think, the record executives, people that are getting paid, that's where like people that you can't see. Somebody decided that the way to make money is just to put out garbage music and realize you're still getting paid off of it. Let's be honest. That's the only thing I can think of. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
once once it was shown or proven that you don't need to be even good at it to make money at it, that's when you start seeing garbage get put out
that's
there.
when, yeah, that's what that's the dilution right there. I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
just
I
diluted. I
got you.
mean, so
Yeah,
just before we go, Mike, give us your top
yeah.
five dead or alive MCs of all time. Top five,
Well,
dead or alive. If
you're going
if you
first because I'm older. You're going first because I'm
Okay,
older.
sure. Okay, so my
Yeah.
top five dead or alive. When I do this, I always like to break it down among
Go ahead.
sections of the country. So from
Hmm.
East Coast
Ah.
perspective,
Mm.
my favorite East Coast MC of all time is going to be Rakim. I think Rakim can still move the crowd.
Can I ask you something about Rakim, dude?
Go for
Why does he still dress like that?
it. That's just who the brother is, man.
No,
We
Don,
all,
stop it. Stop it. Big Daddy Kane is probably the only rapper our age who dressed like our age, man.
yeah.
Why is Rakim wearing big giant fitted caps and baseball jerseys at 55 years old, man?
Hey, that's
No, I'm sorry, Don. You're still Rakim, dude, but you're not still Rakim.
I got you.
You're mid 50s Rakim. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, he might be older than that. But yeah,
No,
that
no,
that
he's a year behind me. I do
oh,
remember that.
oh, is he okay? So Rakim.
Him and Kane the same age. Him, yeah, they both 55. Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. They're right a
Yeah,
year
so how
behind me.
can I move the crowd? Rakim, I got him number one.
Hmm.
Number two, I'm gonna have to go keep it still on the East Coast. I'm gonna give it to my
Hmm.
boy KRS-One. I
Hmm.
gotta give the teacher his love because, like we were talking about earlier, we talked about MCs and they're talking about rappers with a message that make you think.
He be considered corny today, like you said on the other
Yeah,
podcast.
it's crazy. Like people won't even listen to him today, and it's wild to me. And
Not
by the way,
understanding his battle skills, dude. Not understanding that.
exactly,
He's
he
one of the
was
most devastating battlers out there. Go ahead, bro.
he was talking about black cops back in the day before we even knew that that was an issue in the community. He was making something like that known. He was like letting y'all know, listen, just because you see these black cops out here, don't always assume that they're out here doing the right thing because there's some of these black cops can be some of the worst cops. So I'm just saying, shout out to KRS-One for always being one of the top newsmen, real newsmen of the hood and what's going on out here. And now let
Absolutely.
me say this: as I do this list, I don't think I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about this list, my list anyway. You don't have to be a solo rapper, so I'm gonna throw Chuck D in there. He's another one for me that I'm gonna put in there. Does Chuck D have the greatest linguistic skills? No, 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 probably not. But Chuck D and what he meant to the culture, what he
Voice,
meant,
man.
the voice. I mean,
Unique voice.
I still remember where I was when I heard "Fight the Power." I was like, "Yo, that thing made me want to just get out there and put on my Black Panther suit and throw my fist in there." Even though I was in the Navy at the time, I was ready to get out of that joint, man. Come on, man. Can't Chuck D, powerful, but
Right, right. I got
I
you.
know I said that I was going to spread it out, and I haven't done it yet. Let me throw in Common. I like Common from Chicago. I'm gonna let him represent the Midwest. I'm a big Common fan. I love his stuff from
Hmm.
back in the day. Go and Be. Uh, what's the
Yeah,
other
his
joint? Yeah,
first album was that when he was Common Sense.
yeah,
His debut album was Resurrection. That was a good album.
yeah,
That was a good
absolutely.
album. My cousin Idris turned me on to that. So yeah, that was a great album. I never heard of the dude. It's a Common Sense. That's when he's Common Sense. Yeah, great album, Resurrection. Absolutely.
And then my number five spot, I'm gonna give it to Ice Cube. To me, Ice Cube holds it down for the West Coast. I remember when he broke away with, even when he was with NWA, he was like the what's my man's name? Your boy David Ruffin. He was like David Ruffin in the Temptations. All right, it might have been NWA, but we all knew who the bull was in that group. All
They
right.
ain't coming to see you, Drake.
Hey, exactly. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Easy.
Yeah. Ain't nobody come to see you, Yella.
And
Okay.
Ren, they show ain't come to see you.
Exactly. He was writing all the raps from what I understand. Dre was
Yes, he
producing them
was.
and
Yeah,
Cube was
he's
the one
writing
writing
all
them.
Easy E's joints, no question.
And it's
I think Ren wrote his own. Ren wrote his own raps. And Cube wrote for everybody else, whoever rapped. You know what I mean? So you had to talk about Dre. He was writing Dre's raps whenever Dre would jump in there with a few lines. Because Dre didn't rap a lot. He started rapping a lot on that, with Snoop, the Doggy Style and all that stuff. Or no, the Chronic. I'm sorry, the Chronic. He started rapping a lot then. But yeah, Cube. Yeah, you give it to him. I'm just kind of, I'm
yeah.
not really into what he's doing now.
Well, yeah,
You know.
yeah. I'm just talking. We keeping the music, man. We keeping the music.
Okay, yeah.
So
Music, Hall of Fame, no
yeah,
question.
music Hall of Fame. But what I was gonna say, once he left NWA, they fell off, bro. They were done. All right, they was
They
done.
had nothing. They had nothing.
They had nothing. That man went out there and dropped America's Most Wanted. Then he dropped
Yeah,
Death Certificate. I was like, yo, it's over. All
yeah.
right, it's over.
Little trivia for you.
Yes, sir.
Where did Ice Cube record that album?
Which one?
America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. I want to
Mhm.
say, I know he was down with. That's when he was down with. I want to say he was down with the Nation back then, wasn't he? During that time.
Not quite.
Okay, who was it? Or where?
He recorded it in New York City with the
Okay.
Bomb Squad, the
Uh,
Shockley brothers, Hank and Keith Shockley. You understand? So not only did he go solo, he went solo and went to the East Coast as a West Coast rapper to get his album produced. And it was sick. America's Most Wanted was sick. It was sick. First seeing his brother about to get executed in an electric chair. Dude, that was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I go with that. I go with that.
Go ahead, brother.
So all you talking about my five, you said Dead or Alive, right?
Get her alive.
Okay. And no, this is in order. Number 5 is Melly Mel.
Okay, yes, sir.
Love Melly Mel. Because I like battle rappers and I like really clever battle rappers. The one joint and Step Off, one of the good Grandmaster Flash Furious 5 joints when he said, if we're ever in a battle, I'm gonna make you my slave and I'm gonna give you a shovel so you can dig a grave. Leave behind all your fame and wealth so you can say one rhyme, then bury yourself. I'm like, ooh wee, ooh wee, ooh wee. Told the dude he gonna make him dig his own grave, say one rhyme and bury yourself. So yeah, Melly Mel favorite as far as battle raps. Number 4, man, ladies love Cool James.
Yeah.
LL. LL, another battle rapper. People get it twisted because LL always wearing out chapstick and all that other stuff, licking them lips and all that stuff. And you know, dude, he was a lover, man, but he was a cold battle rapper.
Mm-hmm.
LL would take on anybody, so without question, number 4. What's happening?
Battle anybody, I don't care. You
Yeah,
tell.
yeah, no doubt. It was true. Yeah, it was true. You had to give it to him, dude. He didn't sidestep nobody if they wanted to battle. So I definitely appreciated that about Al. I'm staying East Coast because I'm biased, man. I mean, it is what it is. Uh Number 3, KRS-One, no question about it. He's right there in the middle, right there in the middle for me. Um Number 2, um, I'm making him number 2 because this was the voice. We talking this voice thing again.
Mm-hmm.
That was the voice that really made me gravitate towards hip hop as a kid. You know what I mean? Because Sugar Hill, the Rapper's Delight came out, and that was cool. Don't get me wrong. But it was another rapper who, when I heard his stuff, his voice just really he sounded like what an MC. He sounded that I kind of knew what he looked like. He just sounded like an MC. And number 2 is Spoonie G. Spoonie G, my number 2 rapper. You see, a 1 for the trouble, 2 for the time. Come
Okay.
on, y'all. Let's right, dude. That voice, man. I was like, yo. I said, that's how an MC's supposed to sound, dude.
Yes,
So yeah,
sir.
Spoonie G, no question, man. Yeah, Spoonie G, no question. Number 2, number 1, the BIGDADDYKANE. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, my all-time favorite rapper. No question about it. Um, he you know what? He had a seminal moment in hip hop as well. Okay?
Absolutely.
Big Daddy Kane made dark-skinned dudes sexy, as far as hip hop was concerned. You understand what I'm saying? Because you
Hmm.
talking about the era of the Princes and the Albie Shores and anybody, you know what I mean?
Elder Barge.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
nothing, our people are our people. Yeah, let's shut that dog up. But anyway, our people are our people. But
Right.
Big Daddy Kane was like, Kenya, could you let him out or something else? Thank you. Yeah. So he was unlike anything we had seen, like I said, aesthetically. And like I said, he came with all the metaphors and things like that. Uh yeah, he was great, man. That's my number one rapper. So I will go like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I think those are two good lists. And everybody out there that's listening on YouTube, watching us on YouTube, put your favorites in the comment section. All right. If y'all are still, hopefully, y'all still watching us and checking us out. Let us know in the comments who is your top 5 dead or alive. I will make sure that I put that in the description because I really want you all out there to chime in and get into the conversation with us in honor of the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Let us know who is in your top 5 dead or alive MCs, whoever
And it
y'all
would be
choose.
interesting based on, like I said, what you did was very interesting as far as geographically. I like that. So I mean, if people could actually follow that format, that would be interesting. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I did like a lot of
Well,
West Coast rap.
let me just say this: if I was going to say the best Texas rapper, I'd say Scarface. If I was going to say the best down south rapper, I would have said Andre 3000 from
Hmm.
Outkast. All right, so
Hmm.
if I want to be true to what I really, but I couldn't put that list in there without putting in KRS One and Rakim because I feel like they
Right.
two are the best.
Right. So I think what you did was would be very, like I said,
Right.
informative. As far it'd be interesting to see what people's tastes are regionally. You know what I mean? Like I said, South. I'm with you. I mean, I loved Outkast when they
Yeah.
came out. I'm like, wow. You know what I
Yes,
mean? They were
sir.
they were dope. They were dope. And I think I like them both together. I mean, Andre, I don't know. I wouldn't put him ahead of Big Boy. To me, I just took them both together.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
they
I
yeah.
mean? And that's just how that is, man. Now, my
It's
favorite rapper out of Philly it was EST.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, 3 times dope.
Oh yeah.
That was another
Oh
dude, man,
okay.
dude.
Oh
That was
yeah.
that was nothing. Come on, bruh. Funky
Yeah.
dividends.
I thought
So
you was
went
gonna
to
say Schoolie
man.
D.
No, man, no. Schoolie D was alright, man. He was alright. But you talking about rapping?
Hmm.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
So
they
I
was
went
the
and got the Slimmy. As soon as I opened the door, she said, "Gimme." It was like I was a bone and she was fetching. She got a cold swallowed my ones like greedy Gretchen. Come on, man. EST was ill. It was
yeah.
ill.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it.
What you doing, man? You messing with something? Like you dropped something. You all right?
Who me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, you talking to me? Oh no,
Oh,
I'm just over here scrolling, looking at these looking at some of the rap songs we was talking about. You know what I mean? That's all. I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
don't
dialed in
don't
with you, brother.
yeah,
I'm dialed in.
yeah, bro. Don't drift.
I'm
You know,
with you.
it's
I'm
all
with you.
good.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So like anyway, everybody out there, drop us your top 5 dead or alive. You can do that even on Spotify. There's a question in the episode description. It says, "How was the show?" Please, write in there and let us know who's in your top 5 on YouTube. Or YouTubers, please in the comment section, put in there who is top 5. And I tried to pin a question to that thing. They wanted to see my ID. I showed it to them. They still denied me. So I don't know what's going on with Google. Google, it really is me. It's me, Google. Okay,
Right.
I am who I say that I am. I don't, And if I wouldn't, then I wouldn't. Whatever that rapper is, I messed that
I
part up.
just thought of that. I just thought if I wasn't, then why would I say I
Yeah, I
am?
am exactly.
So and so radios don't even play my was that Eminem or DMX? That was Eminem.
No, no. Was that
That was
really?
Eminem. Yep.
Okay.
I am whoever you say I am. If it wasn't, so yeah, that was Eminem. And radios don't even play my. Yeah, that was Eminem. Right, that
Okay.
was Eminem.
All
Yep,
right.
yep, yep.
Well,
Gotcha.
somebody out there will let us know either way, whether we're right or whether we're wrong. I know
I
Rob is
think it
out
was
there
Eminem.
listening. Rob
Right.
Anderson gonna let us know what it is.
Yeah, yeah, but
So,
I think that was M. No doubt about it. Yeah.
all right, bro, that's all I got, man. What you got to say?
Nothing, man. I'm good, man. Glad to see you again. You know what I mean? We let the weekend go by, but it wasn't too tough. Like I said, we got the Monday in, so it's cool. Yeah, good topics, man. But like I said, I do want this folding chair thing to cool down, man, because it's been, it's I don't like it, man.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Because like I said, had that never happened, would this thing even be what we're talking about now?
Just stop before somebody gets hurt now. People don't take the thing too far now. Because that's all we
Right?
need is
Please
somebody
don't.
don't go out here and become nobody's hashtag. And then we'll be like, oh, what
No.
happened? Nah, just chill.
Right. We trying to move beyond that. We don't want to do no more of
Exactly.
those.
Exactly.
We don't want to do any more of those. But yeah, that's all I got, brother. So are we signing off?
Yes, sir.
All right. For my man Don, I'm Mike, the golden voice, the people's choice. And you're listening to the Underway Podcast. Love you. Can't get enough of you. Go ahead, Don.
See you on the other side, people. Like, share, and subscribe. The
That's
Underway
right.
Podcast.
Love y'all.
Peace.